All right, friends, how are you today? Aaron here bringing your daily horoscope for Saturday, the 5th of September, 2020. We've got a lot going on today. All right, we've got Mercury at the 29th degree of Virgo. We've got Venus in the 29th degree of Cancer. We have a grand Earth trine. Okay, the Sun has picked up where Mercury was a week ago. Okay, now we talked about that grand Earth trine pretty extensively, so I don't want to get too much into it, but I'll still tap into it. We have the Moon square to Jupiter today, okay? And a lot has to do with focus and how we're focusing ourselves. I'll show you this chart. Okay, here's Mercury sextile to Venus, both at the 29th degree, which is a very pinnacle. It's a very important point to understand, you know. This is about being so focused, okay? We'll come back to Venus in a moment. About being so focused. Now, early in the morning, Jupiter and the Moon are squaring each other, okay? As is Moon going to square Pluto as the day continues. All right, and then as the day continues even more, square to Saturn, okay? And this mostly has to deal with focus and our intentions and us acting and what we need to do in accordance with ourselves, you know, and how are we perceiving information as this conjunction is coming up. You know, I'm going to give you a fun analogy here in a moment here and how 10th house deals with how people view you. The abundance, the transformation, and the structure and discipline. You know, we can look at those and break those down into simple terms. And the Moon is our emotional energy, right? And in Aries, this is energy in motion. Okay, so this is being assertive and taking action. Okay, and Mercury at the 29th degree of Virgo is saying, I'm so focused on what I need to do that it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing around me. I'm doing my thing. Okay, so this is cool. This plays out in a really fun way today. So let's take this and let's say we're going to the beach or we're going to the park or something to do yoga. Okay, going outside, social distancing, we're going to go do some yoga, or we're going to sit down and meditate. Okay, and be disciplined and structured on ourselves to do these things. Okay, so when we're in meditation or in yoga, whatever it is, maybe we're doing breath work, whatever it may be. Okay, the point is that it doesn't matter who's throwing a frisbee or throwing a ball around, or kids running around and screaming, people playing in the water, creating this noise, dogs bark. It doesn't matter what's going on around you. We are so in our space, in our zone, in ourselves, right? Moon in Aries, okay? Focused on bringing it back inside to us, okay? So this is so focused on us and our intentions of why we're doing whatever we're doing that really the outside, it's not there. It is not there. Okay, so that 29th degree of Virgo, that's exactly what Mercury is saying. You know, mentally, I am so checked in. I am so tapped in, tuned in, and turned on. Okay, my one of my favorite teachers is Abraham Hicks, right? I'm tapped in, tuned in, and turned on. I'm so into this moment, into this thing, that the outside world almost disappears, okay? So the Moon creating this balancing squares over here to Jupiter, to Pluto, it'd be like this, Moon over here to Jupiter, to Pluto, and to Saturn. You know, this is saying, like, if we're in this meditation, don't open our eyes to see what that noise was. You know, we don't have to see everything. It's not more. It's almost a lack of more. You know, Jupiter in Capricorn is almost a lack of more. You know, it's confining it. Okay? So, and allowing us to do this and truly sit with ourselves, to truly sit in that meditation, or to truly finish the yoga practice, you know, as long as whatever we would set our destined time to, you know, to truly follow through with that and not allow the distractions in our atmosphere to overwhelm us or to pull us out of what we're doing. Okay? People see that. So this is the balance of this 10th house stuff, this stuff in Capricorn. You know, people are going to be seeing that and being like, oh, look at how in tune and in focus and what that person is doing. And you know, there's almost a sense of admiration. Okay, not that we're trying to do it to be admired, but we're doing it because we're so into ourselves. Not, and you know what I'm saying when I say that. You know, people are going to view you, and how people their perception of you changes. Okay, Mercury and Virgo, things change. Now, let's come down to this grand earth trine. Again, a fire is going to spread rapidly. The wind's going to blow the trees and the leaves and all of these things. And the water, it rushes so quickly, and then it's how long does it take a mountain to form? How long does it take the earth to shift its tectonic plates? It's a very long time. And we have this energy, the Great Awakener, okay, Aquarian energy, technology, and driven through futuristic thinking here in the very traditional and slow-moving sign of Taurus. Okay, this is a very speedy. I mean, it takes 84 years to go around, but the energy of Uranus is lightning striking. Okay. So we have this lightning striking happening. This is me shaking the mouse. Lightning striking. Okay. Here in Taurus. And then we're focused here in the sign of Virgo. And we're starting to oppose here Neptune, which is home in Pisces, which is great, okay, because we're still getting this left-right hemisphere, and we're being focused on like meditation. We're being focused on the right brain. We're being focused on, releasing, focused on letting go, okay. So Uranus breaking through the tradition like a lightning bolt. Maybe this is, if you've been following me, maybe meditation's been hard for you. Maybe this day it's going to be zing, and all of a sudden it clicks because you're going to be able to stay focused and in tune into yourself. And then this, we can look at Jupiter again as a lack of abundance in a certain sense up here in Capricorn. Like, you don't need all the things. You know what I mean? Like, this is what happens when people sit down to meditate sometimes. It's like, oh, well, I gotta, I scratch my nose, or I've gotta, I've gotta take a sip of water, or I gotta, scratch my back. I gotta, it's just like, just sit. Just sit with yourself. You don't need all these other things. You don't need a sip of water right now. The mind is controlling this. Dr. Joe Dispenza, I love Dr. Joe. And he's just like, if we're acting out of a thought, if our thoughts are ruling us, not our bodies desiring for things. Our bodies can desire caffeine or tobacco or whatever it is, or alcohol or whatever. Our bodies can crave things, but our minds not necessarily want those things. They can be conflicting. Okay. So we have this very focused energy going on today, and they're all playing like the grand earth trine, the moon square to the stuff in the earth sign, Mercury here in the 29th degree of Virgo moving into 0 degrees of Libra. It's just about balance. We must balance this. If we've gone our entire lives without meditation, well, let's try it, and maybe this is the day that we have the breakthrough and we're truly able to sit here and just be at peace with self and allow to give ourselves this time. Not that I'm trying to, sit here and preach meditation, but I mean, at the same time, it's kind of important. Take it in any way that you want. If it's not something about meditation, then take it any way that fits you. Okay. Now let's get to this last part here, which is Venus at the 29th degree of Cancer, and Venus is going to be there all day Saturday and into Sunday, and it's on Sunday when Venus moves into Leo. Okay. Now this is a really interesting placement. Venus is everything we love, want, and desire. Venus is Venus in Cancer is loving our connection with nature, loving our connection with our own home. Beautifying our home, purifying our home. Reaching out and loving our family, our support structure, our friends, the close people to us, the close, the moon stays close to home, Earth's natural satellite, and that's, the ruling sign of Cancer. Okay, so this is like loving the close things to us, And at the 29th degree, it's a contradictory energy, okay? And it's to create awareness in us. And this is saying the rebels. the people who created the revolutions. And at one point while creating the revolution, this disturbance, that's what Uranus is doing in Taurus right now. It's creating a revolution. We're creating a revolution, right? Our world is changing. The United States is changing. They're probably not going to be united in the next several years, right? It's Pluto return. Anyway. So the revolution, when we have this revolution, there can be looked at as rebels. And then over time, those rebels who did what they needed to do, stayed focused and did their job, they created a new tradition. Okay, so now they're revered. Now they're they're looked at on high, like, oh, you did this and you fought against the odds and you came out and now you've created this new. And now this new that we've created, we want to keep that and continue that thing. And we want to suppress and oppress anybody else that wants to revolutionize our revolution. The hypocrisy is deep in that. It's a very interesting degree. And it's saying, I need to be aware of this. I need to fall in love with. I need to value that we are here through revolution after revolution after revolution after revelation, right? That we all come from some sort of rebellious acts throughout history, throughout our times. So when we see the Uranian individuals, okay, the rebels, the ones that are shaking things up right now, it's not saying we can't have you doing that. It's us taking a step back and saying they're playing an important role in life, whether I agree with it or not. And I'm not a political guy at all, okay? And we can say the same thing about the President of the United States of America, okay? I have no opinions of that person, but he is playing his role perfectly, and he lives up to his name, the wild card that is oddly necessary in times to create change. Now, if this is negative change, then we know that the positive change is coming over top of it, right? As I say it all the time, sometimes we don't know we're the heroes until the villain shows its face. So the villain is simply doing its part. Okay, whichever the sideline you're on, it matters none to me. I have a very back seat in as far as politics go and see things, whatever, but it's understanding that things need to be shaken up and changed and modified and torn down to be rebuilt and reborn again in a better way. And it's finding a peace with that within self. And we have Saturday and into Sunday to embrace that energy. Okay. So it's interesting times. And I hope I haven't put anybody off about that. I don't talk about politics. It's a touchy subject. Again, it matters nothing to me. I'm an astrologer. I see years ahead right now. It's just like that dude's just playing his part, man. And we as a country, as a world, have manifested that person to sit in that seat. It is what it is. Either way, we're so focused on us today and doing what we have to do, whether that's being the rebel or that's sitting and meditating or that's, adding to the revolution, whatever it is, whatever's going on in our lives, we're so focused at doing it that we're not going to be distracted by other things that are going to take us off of our path, and other people will see our dedication to it and see our value to creating this change. I mean, ultimately, that's what it is we're coming down to creating change. And the sun in Virgo, okay, the mutable earth sign, change. Uranus in Taurus, creating change where change does not want to exist. Jupiter up in Capricorn, this abundance, a lack of abundance, and do more with what you have than needing more so you can do more. We have everything in here. Okay? Have a beautiful Saturday, my friends. I appreciate you so much. As always, thank you. I love you. I wish you enough, and we'll see you tomorrow.